Welcome to the Empire State Trail Weekly Update, your briefing for folks who use and care about the Erie Canalway and Empire State Trail. Each week we'll look at conditions, construction, and community news from across the Erie Canal and Hudson River corridors. This is the update for March 22nd to the 28th, 2026. And a happy spring to you all. Well, nothing has changed from last week. Even though the snow that came early in the week has melted off, the rain and cool temps don't make outdoor riding much fun. So the indoor trainer is still getting the workout. And all the detours remain in place. So I thought I would take a deep dive into the WarmShowers touring community and what other options are out there. Have you heard about the WarmShowers community? Founded in 1993, WarmShowers is a worldwide hospitality network specifically for touring cyclists. If you've heard about couch surfing, WarmShowers is the same idea, but is strictly for people who arrive and leave on two wheels. WarmShowers operates on a gift economy, where the members are both the host and a guest. This all takes place through the website or app. A member will register, pay a one-time fee, and fill out a profile. The profile is important as it allows others to check you out and review you. For those on tour, this allows the potential host an opportunity to get to know you. And for the host, it lets them see if the person asking for a stay is a good fit for them. So here's the WarmShowers page, warmshowers.org. And this is my page here, Mike and Mary. My wife and I run a WarmShowers stop here in Port Byron. So we'll run you through my page. And this will just tell you all about WarmShowers, what is WarmShowers, how to sign up, how to create a profile, finding host, give you a little bit more. So when you come to this page, and again, you have to be a member to access this site, but it's I think $30 or $35. You pay a one-time fee. If you want the app on your phone, I think it's a monthly fee. But if you're just using the website, it's a one-time fee. You pay it and you're in. So you click Find a Host. And this, you can tell them where you want to go, or you find this map here that you can drag around. So here's a map of the New York State Canalway Trail. We'll just take a look and see who's got a warm shower. And you can see there's quite a number of them scattered around the state. Not everybody's on the trail, which is the issue. This is why we became a WarmShower stop. So, but all these places here would be willing to host you. Again, if they're in town, if they got the room, they're not going away. But let's click you on, we'll zoom you in. Here's Port Byron, and I'll just use ours. So if you click on that, it'll say Mike and Mary Riley, and telling me I'm 3 miles away from where I am. I don't know why. And then you can click over here, and you'll see their profile. So you'll see a picture of my wife and me. We have 35 reviews. This is important because it lets you, if you're unsure, a single woman on trail, somebody who, kind of nervous about staying with somebody. I mean, there's a lot of reasons you want to have a review here. You go down and you can read, this is what we fill out. So this is all about my wife and I. And here's one of the things about, in our profile here, we have a phone number. We say, call this phone number, always. Because sometimes WarmShowers is a little bit behind on their messages. And if you're a day away or 2 days away, sometimes you don't get your messages or you don't read your emails. But we always have the phone on. So we put this right into our profile. Not everybody does this. A lot of people, you'll get the profile once you request a stay. And so we have about us, and then we have our space and facilities. This is what we are offering to you. So we have our hideaway. We have 2 bunk beds, cots, chairs, powered by way of solar. You can set up a tent if you want, although we warn you about our cats, because our cats like to go out there and swat at tents and stuff. So we warn people about that. And then there's some reviews here. And, Bill Anderson stayed in October 25, and he said it was a great spot, blah, 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 and, goes on. And then we have a couple pictures of the hideaway, the inside of the hideaway, that people can view. Now, everybody does this differently. Let's go back to find a host, and let's see if we can find somebody who has a little bit different setup. Okay, so we're going to go out here to Newark, and we're going to find Paul. I grabbed Paul at random. I don't know who he is, but he's advertising here. So I'm just going to click through because I want to show different facilities that people offer. Everybody does warm showers a little bit different. It's up to them. So Paul's along the trail. Paul's an avid road biker. Unfortunately, it looks like his wife passed away last year, and Paul's a widower. He's going to let you know that. He's a single guy. He's got a 2-story home, half mile from the Erie Canal. He's got 2 queen beds. Sounds nice. 2 bathrooms. Ooh, they're very nice. And he also can set up tents. And guests must be able to share their stay with a friendly 5-year-old Labradoodle. So that's letting you know, if you're not a dog person, maybe you don't want to stay there. And then, he's, some reviews. You can go down through and review. So very nice. And then he's going to show you his home and, what he has. So he's inviting you into his house. Where our hideaway is, it's outside. So if you're a person who really likes that camaraderie and you want to stay with somebody and probably eat with them and spend a lot of time with them, this would be the guy for you. Our place is a little more, we say you can stay out there, you're welcome to come inside. It's just how everybody does it. They do it a little bit different. There is no one, say, standard warm showers host. So, and we'll do one more here just to show you how it works. So it is interesting to see how many people are, like up here in Fulton. There's no bike path up there, but they're going to invite you to stay. You got people down to Richfield Springs along Route 20. Let's see, Sprakers. Sprakers is a good spot. So Janet and Roland. And let's see, what do they have to offer? So they are prefer a lot of notice for planning purposes, so they may not be around for in case you're in desperate need of a place to stay. Let's see, long road uphill from Mohawk Valley, but great views. And doesn't say much about their place, what they have to. So it actually looks like they offered food. So it sounds like it's a stay inside a house. So there you go. That's how Warm Showers works. And then if you're on tour, you can leave your profile, and so people can see who you are. So that profile that I have on there would tell somebody else who I am and what Mike and Mary are all about, so they can understand. And here we are. We zoomed out, and I clicked in the Chicago area, and you can see how many people are in that Chicago area where you could stay. You got 10 people in this area. Must be a bike route going through this area. A lot of people in that area. So basically, you can see that it's a very popular network. But there are some things that you should know. Don't just send a "Can I stay" message. Hosts prioritize meaningful requests. Mention your route, why you're riding, and what kind of snacks they're willing to share. I mean, I've had a lot of people come in. I'm going to the store. Would you like something? It's stays are limited to 1 night, except for emergencies. So you must arrive on a touring bike. If for some reason there is a car involved, work this out beforehand. This rule is in place to prevent people from abusing the community and just looking for a free place to crash before that Taylor Swift concert. Happens a lot when around SPAC and CMAC and around the big concert areas where people just reach out, hey, I'm touring through, then they show up in a car and and it's obviously not a bicyclist at all, but so just make sure that you're arriving on a touring bike, a bicycle with bags, Obviously, you're on tour. We can kind of tell. If the host lists a phone number in the profile, call or text it. And I can't stress this enough. You should still sign up through the website, but if you're in a short, less than 24-hour notice, call. And us old timers, who don't text a lot, sometimes we put the phone down when we come home. It's not always in our pocket. We'll hear it ring, but we may not hear that text notice go off. So you young people out there, call. If the phone number is there, call it. If the person says in their profile, call it. No parties. Be respectful. Don't show up with 5 people and a 20-pack of beer and get all rowdy. We are in the village. A lot of us are in a city or a village, and we have neighbors, and we have to be respectful. And if you need help, ask. We have picked up riders who have broken down or needed a ride to the local bike shop. I picked up somebody who was in Clyde and needed a ride to Rochester. We've had people pick up and bring people here, and then we take them to Syracuse to the bike shop. So always feel free to reach out. People can say no, but most of the time they'll say yes or try to help you out in one way or another. When I was doing a little bit of research on this, came across this Velomigo. And Velomigo is also a name for some other app. So if you're looking for Velomigo, put in Velomigo bike, and it pops up. This was launched fairly recently, and it's a free platform designed for the cycling community. It tries to fill in the gaps that some users felt WarmShowers had left behind. And it's not just for hosting, but includes tool sharing, accommodations, group rides. So you can kind of flip through it, go to it. Obviously, if they just started, it's not going to be nearly as robust as WarmShowers, but there are a number of sites listed on here. So I don't know what's, let me see what's out in the Rochester area, what it shows. It's showing where there's bathrooms, and here's our place here. It's showing there's a tool stand there, which is those silly tool stands that the state threw out on every trailhead. If you've used one of those tool stands for any use at all, let me know. I wonder if anybody ever uses those, or if it was just a gigantic waste of money. But anyway, here's a camping site. So what's this say? We're going to put on this Twilight on the Erie, paid website. Obviously, somebody entered this in because there's not a lot of information there. So like I said, this is new, but certainly something you can look into. It's free, and see if you're not a WarmShowers fan, you try to use this. I don't think you'll be as successful, but we did sign up, and we'll see if we get anybody off this. All right. And here's another one, Welcome to My Garden. And we had somebody stay with us who was from Europe, and they told us about this. It was started in UK or France, where somebody, they have tiny little gardens over their yards, and people were allowed to camp in their yards. So they call it Welcome to My Garden. You can see we put our name in on this too, just to see what happens, but it's Welcome to My Garden is for slow travelers only. So this is geared bicyclists and hikers. You can do WarmShowers if you're hiking too, but if somebody calls and wants to stay their hiker, we certainly are not going to turn them away. But Welcome to My Garden has been made for that. You can see that there's some places here. It's not as nearly as populated, but let me go over to Europe and show you, because it's kind of striking. Zoom, zoom, zoom. So now you can see in Europe, here you go. Oh, maybe it'll start in Germany, because here's a ton of people here in Germany. So maybe this is where it's from. So you can obviously see that this is a major network in that area. So that's another alternative, another free. And so what I got off the website says this is a non-profit network primarily focused on slow travelers. concept is hosts offer a spot in the garden to pitch a tent for free. And it's very popular in Western Europe, as I showed, especially in Belgium and France, and attracts a similar demographic to Warm Showers, people who value a quiet night in a patch of grass over a couch or a spare room. So, and over there, obviously, they have much smaller homes and may not have a spare bedroom to offer somebody, but a patch of grass. So there you go. That is welcome to my garden. So Warm Showers and Welcome to My Garden and Velomigo is kind of different than the Cycle of the Canalway Trail, that map that the Parks and Trails puts out. They are simply listing available campsites. So if you're using their map and you kind of go into it, you drill down into it, they're going to be listing campsites, known campsites for fee campsites. We did get our name put on here because it's there was nobody else in the area, but you're not going to find a lot of Warm Showers people on here, I don't think. So this is more geared towards, if you want to pay for a spot, and also which locks and everything allow camping. So it's just a whole different level of, being a bicycle tourist, getting into that Warm Showers kind of community. Yeah. All these services operate on the idea of a shared experience and trust network. Inviting a stranger to spend a night in your yard or home just because they are traveling on a bike can be a scary experience, especially for your first few times. Just know that the unease can go both ways. The traveler has no idea who you are either. You will get a great variety of riders passing through. We have had folks touring around the world, from distant countries, first-timers out for a ride along the canal, and folks who live on their bikes and are in constant motion. They're basically vagabonds, just living out their life on their bike. They all bring their own interesting story into your home. So have you ever used Warm Showers? I'd like to hear if you used it and enjoyed it or didn't enjoy it, if you hosted and had a bad experience, or if it's all been good. We did have one guy stay and kind of left us with a bad feeling afterwards. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't exactly a 5-star review. Please note that this is an independent weekly update and not affiliated with New York State, the Canal Corporation, or any official trail agency. Information is based on publicly available sources and rider reports. And remember to give this a like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.